So here we go with our summer series using Barbara Brown Taylor's book, An Altar in the World, as our guide. A way to unlearn the idea that the sacred can be found exclusively in a church or apart from the rest of the physical world. So today's theme is vision, and it's a lot about slowing down. So slowing down to see that everything and everywhere is part of God's house. So we're going to use our breath especially to help us get down to speed, not up to speed, so that we can listen to our bodies. The pose we're going to use is Gomukhasana, but revolved, so like Eagle Pose with a twist. And our breathing practice will be square breathing, so inhaling, holding, exhaling, and holding again. We'll do that at the end. So I invite you to grab your props. You could even have a chair. You could, instead of doing the one-legged balance standing, you could do it seated in a chair. Make it a little easier. Maybe block, strap, blanket, all the things you normally use. And we are going to start laying on our backs. So settle in. Maybe tuck your shoulder blades together. Keep your knees bent. You have your feet maybe a little bit wider than hip width apart this morning. And simply follow your inhale and your exhale. So always a good place to begin with just that three-part belly breathing, filling the belly, the rib cage, the collarbones, and exhaling in reverse. So as your mind starts to settle, taking a moment to set your intention. Maybe there's a part of your yoga practice you want to pay more attention to, whether it's stretching or balancing or strength. You could set that as your intention today. And then let it go and take your arms overhead and do like a big morning stretch. And then maybe just gently taking your shoulders from side to side like you're doing that standing side stretch. And then come on back to stillness, bring your arms back down by your hips. Take your feet as wide as the edges of the mat and do a little windshield wiper with your knees. A little gentle twist. Then walk your knees back in line with your hips and do 3 bridge poses. So again, tucking your shoulder blades together, making the back of your neck long. Inhaling, lift your hips. And exhaling, drop them down. And inhaling, lift your hips. And exhaling, drop them down. And again, inhaling, lift your hips. And exhaling, drop them down. And pull your low belly in. Keep your toes on the mat, but lift your heels. And then slowly draw your knees into your chest using those low belly muscles. Maybe rock from side to side a little bit. And then inhaling, take your heels to the ceiling. Maybe point and flex your feet. And we're just going to alternate one leg down, hovering over the mat, and then the other, like scissoring. So take one leg down, exhale. And switch, inhale, other leg down. Do that 2 more times, exhaling. And inhaling. And again, exhaling. And inhaling. Bring that bottom leg up to meet the top. Soften the knees again. Rock from side to side. And then cross one knee over the other in eagle legs. And maybe make some circles with your ankles. See if you can pull your knees a little closer to your chest. Maybe even you run your hands down your shins and find your ankles, make it a little hip stretch. Couple breaths. Let those legs be soft. And then inhaling, take those heels to the ceiling again, unwrapping the legs, and cross the other direction. Maybe circle those ankles again. Maybe find your shins or your ankles, making a little bit of a hip stretch on this other side. Nice. And gently release. So you could simply rock to one side and push yourself up to seated, or if you wanted, you can roll from your hips to your shoulders. Just do so safely. Remember, you're your own best teacher. Coming up to all fours. So we're just going to do a little progression here. Again, warming our spine, engaging our core. So on an inhale, gently arch. Exhale, hollow out that cap shape. Come on back to neutral. Then inhale the left leg out. Exhale the knee into the chest, hollowing out. And put that knee down. Same thing on the other side. First we arch, cat, cow. Cow, cat, really. Come on back to neutral. Inhaling, right heel out. Exhale, knee to the chest. Come on back to neutral. And then we're going to do a 3-breath cow. So on an inhale, super slowly, keeping the motion going. Inhale and exhale. You should only be a third of the way to the full extension. Inhale again, a little more. And exhale. So you really can listen to what your spine has to say today. One more time, inhaling. Fullest expression of that cow shape extension. And as you exhale, start to go the other direction, just the tailbone. Inhaling, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling, fold that mid-back to the ceiling. Inhaling, exhale, round the shoulders. Let the head drop if it's safe for you. Full expression of that Halloween cat shape. Spinal folding, and then come on back to neutral. And then on your next inhale, bring your right leg forward. Grab hold of your block if it's helpful. So low lunge on the right side. Feel that hip flexor on the left. Nice stretch. Bring your hands to your thigh. Just hang out here for a few breaths. So my front foot is rooted, my inner thigh is engaged, right? On your next inhale, sweep your arms forward. Exhale here. And then inhale, sweep your arms up. And exhale here. And then sweep your arms forward again. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to draw the bow back, twisting toward that front leg. And take a couple breaths. Set your drishti, your gaze. That's really important, right? And then slowly bring that arm back. One more look, crescent, maybe taking your gaze upward. And then exhaling, hands to the mat. Let's go ahead and take a downward facing dog, right? So come to your plank or modified plank. And lift your hips up and back. And go ahead and walk your dog, bending one knee and then the other. And then come on back to stillness. Check in with your calves. Lift your hips a little bit more. Soften your jaw. Firm up your upper arms. And pull your low belly in, exhaling, float your knees down. And we'll take that crescent lunge, low lunge on the other side. So taking a moment to get set nice and stable. And then hands to the thigh. And then sweep your arms forward, take a breath here. Lower body rooted, upper body light. Inhaling. Raise your arms up, take a breath. Bring your arms back forward. And then draw that bow back. Twisting toward your front leg. Use that inner thigh. Set your gaze. And come on back, fingertips forward. One more crescent. Fingertips up. And then exhaling, hands to the mat. And come back to downward facing dog. So come through your modified plank or plank. And exhale, lift your hips up and back. So 3 breaths, you get to decide. You can walk your dog or not. Inhaling and exhaling. Then you're going to look at your thumbs, soften your knees, and walk or hop your feet in to meet your hands. Again, grab at the block. So feel this nice deep forward fold, feet rooted, 2 fist widths apart. Nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Recall your intention. And soften the knees and bring your hands to your thighs. So, chair pose, Utkatasana legs. So when we go to do our one-legged balance, if that doesn't work for you, you can always bring both feet back to the ground and stay right here. Take a couple breaths. Warming up those quads. And then inhaling, sweep your fingertips up in the air. Exhale your hands to your heart center. And just do some empty coat sleeves. So when we go to do this one-legged balance, we're actually going to shift our gaze. So normally, right, we keep our gaze in one place. We're going to see if we can slow down and use our inhales and exhales to move our gaze as we balance. Again, you can always do this sitting in a chair. You can keep both feet on the ground. Let's give it a try. So wiggle your toes, sit down into your heels. Lift one knee high over the other. Maybe wrap the foot. Take your arms out. Arm of the top leg goes underneath, right? So you're going to pull your low belly in. Set your gaze, and then maybe pretend like it's a clock face and move to the next number over. Move your gaze toward the top leg. And then maybe go a little further. And then maybe one number over, so maybe now you're at 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And then perhaps unfurl your arms and open up toward that top leg. It's just a practice. And gently release. So this pose really requires our full attention. That's what we're going for. So wiggle your toes again. Sit down into your chair. Go to the other side. So use those belly muscles. Use your breath. Bottom elbow, top leg are on the same side. And then shift your gaze one number over on the clock. Take a breath. And do it again if you can. Take a breath. And again. Take a breath. Maybe you want to unfurl toward that top leg. Nice, and exhale, gently release. And walk it out, just shake your legs out. Nice. So we'll take just a couple of minutes to a nice, deep leg stretch, starting with warrior two. So turn your toes out on one side, bring your hands to your hips. Exhaling, take the knee right over the middle of the foot. And then arms out to the side. So opening up after all that drawing into the center. And then reverse. Fingertips up in the air. Nice. Soften the knees. And take a triangle pose. So both legs straight if you can. Just taking the whole spine diagonally down. Hand on the thigh, firm up that leg or the shin. I'm going to keep my top hand on my hip. Just think about rolling that hip under. Maybe shifting my gaze upward. You could even wrap that hand behind you, trying to find the hip crease. Good. Inhale and come on back up. Turn those toes in. We'll go right to the other side. So toes out. Knee over the middle of the foot. Inhaling, arms out. And then folding upward. Good. And then triangle pose, soften the knees, tilt the pelvis. Just get a nice deep stretch. Listen to sensations in your body. Exhaling. Come on out of it. Turn those toes in. Big open 5-pointed star pose. Big breath. Just notice how your body feels, if it's any different than when we started. And then windmill yourself to the front of your mat so that you can bring yourself back to the top of a push-up plank. Float those knees down. Maybe you want to take a child's pose for a couple of breaths. Pull your low belly in, come to seated so you can roll yourself back on your back. We're going to do one more easy twist. Those like eagle legs. So draw your knees into your chest. When you're ready, cross one knee over the other. Take your arms out to the side. You could wrap your foot behind the shin. You don't have to. Either way, keep your knees close and roll towards the side of the bottom, the lower leg. And let your whole body fold over. So cross your fold your arms in like a book. Just back up so I'm sure you can see me. Alright. So relax the lower body. And then inhaling, take that top arm up and around. Again, like the hand on a clock face. Exhaling all the way down toward the hip. Do that 2 more times. Just let your head be heavy on the floor if you can. Rest it on a block if you need.
So in her book, Barbara Brown Taylor tells a great story. She tells the story of Jacob from the Bible, who's basically running away. And he didn't really find God. He just happened to be in the spot, make himself available, and God showed up. That's pretty much all we're doing on the mat. So when you get your hands back together again, inhale, draw the bow back, just like we did in crescent. Gently opening up that top shoulder and the rib cage. And then unfurl your legs, pull your low belly in, come on back to neutral. Take a breath. So go to the other side. Right, crossing the other knee over. Maybe you want to do those eagle legs. And then fold yourself toward that bottom leg. And take your arms out like you're closing a book. And then make those big circles with the top arm, inhaling up and around, and exhaling down. You got 2 more times. Nice steady breath. So when you get your hands back together again, use that top arm. Draw the bow back, open up the shoulder. And soften. And then unfurl your legs. Knees back into the chest. Maybe you want to rock from side to side for a moment. And then go ahead and stretch your legs out. A very brief Shavasana. Just check in with your body and notice how it feels. One more deep inhale and exhale. And get yourself moving, maybe wrists, ankles, fingers, toes. Eventually bending the knees so that you can roll to one side and come on up to seated. So one last opportunity to practice slowing down. That square breathing. So this is a tool you could take with you off the mat. Right. Maybe just resting your palms on your knees. Remember, you could sit up on a block or in a chair. Or it's just 4 counts on the inhale, hold for 4, 4 counts on the exhale, hold for 4. So think of it as like a square. Right? So inhale, hold, exhale, and hold, suspend. Again, inhale 4, and suspend. Exhale 4, suspend. Again, inhaling and hold. So remember, there shouldn't be any anxiety or dizziness exhaling. Just go back to your normal breathing if you need and hold. Do it one more time. Inhale, suspend, exhale,
suspend. Last time, inhale, suspend, and exhale, suspend. Perhaps keeping your eyes closed, just take a few normal breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. So if you're ready, bringing your hands to your heart center. So Barbara Brown Taylor in her book reminds us that the house of God stretches from one corner of the universe to the other. I am not in charge of this house and never will be. I have no say about who is in and who is out. We do not get to make the rules. There's only one house. So inhale deeply, remembering that your body is also the temple. Exhaling, bow your head to your heart. Give yourself that pat on the back for taking care of it. It's the only thing that gets us through this journey. Thanks for sharing with me. The Spirit in me honors the Spirit in you. Namaste.